Hey guys, Penchi here. Before I get started,
Look at this man's hot melting chocolate bar.
honestly though, let's just not talk about his arms. I don't know what MiHoYo chose to do with his arms while there's other characters out there with these kind of arms. Let's just not talk about it, honestly. I know many of y'all went for
This.
and it's understandable. Or maybe you guys just randomly pulled him. And if that's the case, all I want to say is
Fuck off.
anyways, welcome to the C0 Ito video guide, sharing with you guys some tricks and things you probably didn't know to help you guys maximize the potential of the one and only Arataki Ito. So now, let's get the show started. Now, I know how difficult it is to read. I also know how done we are with MiHoYo since their essay-length descriptions on the new artifacts and weapons. However, understanding Ito's skit is important, so this is what I am going to do for y'all. I am going to read it so y'all don't have to. Now, the first thing you guys need to understand is that Ito's main source of damage will be from the charge attacks during his burst, because his burst will convert defense into attack for a short period of time. Ito's charge attack have outrageous scale for no stamina cost, so you could just go every time you burst, but to do that, your main goal is to charge the 5 stacks as fast as possible to use it at least 2 to 3 times during his burst to get his maximum damage. There are 3 main ways to charge it. At all times, his second and fourth normal attack charges it. His elemental skill charges upon hit and leaving. Let's not consider the bow getting hit because that's kind of inconsistent.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
During his burst, the first hit and the third hit will also charge his stack, meaning all of his normal attacks during his burst will stack. There are some optimal combos routes to charge it as fast as possible without wasting too much time. Does that mean you should just attack as much as possible before Ito's burst to get his stack and then burst right away? Well, the simple answer is no. To maximize Ito's potential, you need to understand his best artifact set, which you should get, by the way. Again, there's way too much text on this artifact set, and I am starting to believe that there will be more new artifacts with even longer text. So if you guys want somebody to read it for you, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the like button. Anyways, the Husk of Upland Dreams set is fairly tricky to use with Ito. Every time you hit an enemy with geo damage, you gain a whopping stack of 6% defense and geo damage bonus. When your character is off the field, he gains a stack every 3 seconds.
And that is why you should not put him in the first slot, like I always do.
The best part is that you can stack this 4 times. This means that you guys can gain the full stack of this artifact by leaving Ito off field for 12 seconds. So right before the abyss, just wait 12 seconds.
One eternity later.
However, every 6 seconds that the character is in the field, you lose a stack. So now that you guys understand how Ito and his artifact sets work, the main stats for his Sand, Goblet, and Crown are defense percentage, geo damage bonus, and crit rate or crit damage respectively. For his substat, the priorities are crit rate and crit damage followed by defense percentage and then energy recharge. I hope I made it short and clear for everyone, but what you guys need to understand is that you would always want to complete the stack before using Ito's burst, because the burst snapshots only what is in his defense right before his burst. In other words, it converts whatever Ito's defense was right before the burst into attack. Anything gained after that will go to waste, so you would want to max out Ito's defense as much as possible right before the burst. That is also why you should not attack with Ito before his burst, because you risk losing a stack. If you take too long, that might lead to lower damage. Also, I am sure that there have been times that ITTO'S burst is simply just not ready, and there are still some monsters left to kill, especially under the pressure of time in the Abyss. Even if ITTO is the main DPS, remaining on the field to chip away some damage while waiting for his burst is simply not optimal, as ITTO does not do any geo damage aside from his elemental skill. Now that you understand ITTO'S main issue, it's time to explain my optimal tricks and combos to reach the best out of ITTO'S showtime. So your priorities when playing ITTO, it should be getting his burst as soon as possible, maintaining ITTO'S stack. Don't stay with ITTO for 6 seconds on the field without any geo damage. Optimize his combo for charge attack stacks and overall damage output. Now, the optimal way to play ITTO when his burst is not ready is to use another Geo character to generate particles, then switch into his E so he can get all the Geo particles generated. Then, switch to another Geo character and generate more particles until his burst is ready. Now, even if you guys can keep track of ITTO'S charge at all times, which would be the optimal way to play him? The combos I'll be showing is optimal to keep your rotation consistent without worrying about ITTO'S stacks at all times. Essentially,
This means you can really go unga bunga without thinking.
also, a consistent rotation means consistent damage output, which leads to an optimal ITTO loop play. When your burst is ready, the optimal combo to get his full stacks right before ITTO'S burst is one elemental skill, then into his burst, then followed by 3 normal attacks, and then start going unga bunga with your charge attacks. This will allow ITTO to quickly gain his charge stacks without losing any time on his burst or on his artifact stacks. You want to start with his elemental skill right before the burst because it allows ITTO to gain 2 stacks on his charge attacks, since the bowl always lasts 6 seconds. In other words, you gain 1 upon the hit and 1 upon leaving. After his burst, following 3 normal attacks will allow you to gain ITTO'S max stack, including the bull going away, and that allows you to do your charge attacks right away. In general, during the burst time, you wanna avoid using the 4th hit as it is too slow. Now, ITTO has a special mechanic that when he dashes, his normal attack chain would continue. Even though this is kind of cool, this stops you from cancelling his 4th attack, which is slower than the other moves. However, there is an internal cooldown before you can cancel his normal attack change. So optimally, 3 normal attacks, dash, then elemental skill, then dash, then charge attack. This will optimize his damage output without taking too much time on regenerating ITTO'S charge attack stats. The dash also allows you to reposition yourself to gather the enemies better or to dodge any incoming hits. Then, when his burst is over, you would want to go through your rotation to generate more particles or get his burst as soon as possible without losing his artifact stats. Now, I know that there are a lot of free-to-play players out there, so I want to talk about the white blind as it is one of the best free-to-play options. The thing about the white blind is that it gains attack and defense when a normal and charge attack is hit, which can be stacked 4 times. However, you would have to do 4 normal attacks right before ITTO'S burst while hoping that you don't lose your artifact stats. I'm not saying that it is impossible, it most certainly is, but in a situation where time matters like the Abyss, putting 4 normal attacks every time before the burst will take some time, which can be precious, especially when you're trying to speedrun the Abyss. That is why there is a huge difference between paid weapons and free-to-play weapons. Another claymore that is a good option for free-to-play players is the Blacklist Slasher, which is a little harder to get. The crit damage substat is always nice to have, and its side effect is upon defeating an enemy, you will gain an attack percentage boost, which can be gained 3 times. Now, the cool thing about this is that if you do happen to kill an enemy during ITTO'S burst, the percentage will be applied on what attack you had at the time, which is a huge boost. The only issue with this is that if you're not facing many enemies at all, the stacks are kind of meaningless, making it less consistent than the white blind. For fellow goldfishes out there, Serpent Spine is a really good option. That crit rate substat allows you to focus on the crit damage, energy recharge, and defense percentage on your artifact rolls. Also, the effect of the Claymore is pretty consistent as long as you do not get hit. It does require Itto to stay on the field for a bit, but once you get the stacks, they remain. Lastly, the Red Horn Stone Treasure is the best weapon in slot for Itto. I know that there are other good 5-star weapons, but honestly, I think those claymores should just stick to the other characters that use it in the Abyss, since you cannot really share weapons. Unless it was the
dreaded Skyward Pride that has been ruining your pity this entire time.
Again, which isn't too bad. Again, don't let me make the decision for you. I'm just here to help you make a decision, and I hope you guys understand that. So, as we all know ITTO'S main priorities now, picking the right teammates is going to be very important. I made a tier list of the best teammates for ITTO with all the things I considered, ITTO'S priorities, and what could potentially boost his damage, such as the Geo Resonance and amplifying characters. I also put this list together as I know that not everyone has Zhongli and Albedo to fit in their ITTO team. Or like me, they are using Albedo and Zhongli for other team that needs them for the Abyss. For example, my Hu Tao team, which is really reliant on Zhongli, and having Albedo is really nice because of his elemental mastery boost through his burst. So I like making teams that will not rely on general members that fit in any other team, and that is why I like looking through every relevant options and explaining what they will each bring to the team. To make it easy, I will go really quickly through what each of them can bring to the team, but also what are their weaknesses on the next video. Now, before I end this video, here's a recap or a too long don't read of what was shown to you. I really enjoyed making this video because I am passionate. No, not for Itto, even though his body is kinda hot. But no, I am passionate about Genshin Impact, and if you guys want more content like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button and comment below what other character you would like me to go over or any content that you would like to see. Itto has always been a character that I always wanted to have. It isn't because of his 6 packs or anything, but his personality just struck me compared to the other characters. Yes,
Very big personalities.
and before you guys ask if I'm gay, no, I am not, but Itto and Zhongli are really making me question it. Now, I appreciate you all watching this video, and if you guys feel like watching me play or saying hi, I do stream on Twitch at night. If I'm not there, then life happened, and I apologize in advance, which is a really Canadian thing to do. Thank you guys.
Panchi out now.